Well, we understand that there's a plan to set up military bases at some parts of the country where the situation is rife. Is that the solution to the menace that we're all talking and finding a solution to? We'll definitely get into that. And also we'll get into the quarters of the NPP, gauging the campaign so far, or the tour so far, from the former Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmudu Bawumia. He's gone around. What really are the people saying? What has he found out? We'll talk to his aide, that is Dennis Miracles Abuaji, will be joining us later on the show. We'll get into the discussions later. But for now, Nana Kwesi Kwetia is standing by to bring us the news updates. Kwesi, good afternoon.
Thank you very much this morning, and this is News on Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Nana Kwesi Kwetia. Let's look at the headlines for this afternoon. Government announces plans to establish permanent military base along Ayikuma River as part of a decisive war against illegal mining. Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC declare indefinite nationwide strike effective Friday, September 19, 2025. The union is accusing government of ignoring the plight of non-teaching staff in the country's education sector. Plus, this afternoon, we throw the spotlight on NPP's 2024 presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia campaign. Dennis Miracles Abuaji, Director of Communications of the former Vice President campaign, will join us in the studio to talk about the man they describe as the most prepared, formidable, and winnable candidate. This and many more coming up. Stay tuned with us. It's Newsbeat on Good Afternoon Ghana, and these are the details. The government has announced plans to establish a permanent military base along the Ayikuma River as part of a decisive war against illegal mining. This follows a high-level inspection of the river on Thursday, September 18th, led by Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa, the Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson, the Western Regional Security Council, and the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. The delegation, which journeyed by canoe from Jiriwa Uyaso to Jiriwa Akango, discovered widespread devastation, cocoa farms converted into illegal mining hubs, makeshift buildings in a Galamsey hub called Chinese Town along the riverbanks, and hundreds of abandoned chaff towns and pumps choking the waterway. Pakwesi Shandov is media relations at the Lands Ministry. He's joining us on the telephone via Zoom now. See you, Pakwesi. Can you hear me, Pakwesi?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good to have you this afternoon. Please, can you tell us more about this plan to establish a permanent military base along the Ayikuma River, a permanent solution to a seemingly unending menace in some of these areas?
Okay, so this particular proposition is coming against the backdrop that from all that we have examined and diagnosed, it's very clear that the breed of illegal miners that we have are very unrelenting, very, very stubborn, and extremely recalcitrant. And so the approach to deal with a crop of such people, a crop of that sort, certainly has to be very combative. I had cause to explain on a sister platform moments ago that, like it is said in the local Ghana proverb, Loni Josa, Shitoni Nana, Shitoni wa nawa, Nakeyo. To wit, if a fish has a very pungent or offensive smell, it is best eaten with pepper that is equally hot. And so it is because of the situation that is compelling us at this point to advance on this particular path. Indeed, we would have done it anyway, but then after the minister's inspection of the Ayikuma River, of course, he had to spill the beans and indicate that this is what next we are going to do. And so it's not only going to be stationed at the Ayikuma River, it would cut across all the other rivers that have been impacted and besieged by illegal miners, including the 44 forest reserves, which are also the big ticket items of concern as well.
All right, so let me ask you this. How are the people over there in Ayikuma feeling about this arrangement?
Okay, so yesterday you could see this posture of indifference. Granted, there are a good number of them who share our concern in the sense that they also would wish illegal mining became a thing of the past. But there are a lot more people who find it as a very lucrative venture, and therefore, because they think it's a very viable economic enterprise, they are rather nonchalant and passive. They simply do not care. But it doesn't matter at this point who cares or who doesn't care. The ministry is waging war, and that fight will be won.
All right. So back with you, Shandov. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and Public Relations Officer for the Lands Ministry talking to us on the Galamsey issue. We're going to move away from there, and the former board chair of Ghana Airport Company Limited, Paula Dum-Ochri, has called for investigations into claims by Joseph Yamin that people engaged in Galamsey are responsible for the appointment of some ministers in the current administration. He condemned statesmen who have kept quiet about the fight against illegal mining. Since the return of the Mahama-led government, member of NDC National Communications team, Hamza Suhuyini Esquire, has also rebutted the assertion, emphasizing government will not shield any statesman involved in Galamsey. They both spoke earlier on Good Morning Ghana.
The NDC is in a difficult situation. If you listen to Mohammed Yamin saying on radio and television that if you say you're a minister today in the NDC government, it is that Galamsey boy who you are calling a criminal that made you a minister. There's a lot of meaning into that. And Yamin Mohammed was talking about this after it had been published that the Attorney General also had mentioned him as being responsible for Galamsey in Ashanti region. So if what Yamin is saying is right, what does he mean by if you are a minister in the government today, it is the people who do Galamsey who made you a minister? That must be investigated, and that settles the concerns that many had to the extent to which the NDC was taking advantage of this Galamsey matter in the election. And Yamin is coming out to say it, that these are the Galamseyers. He's almost calling them partners to the campaign, because he's suggesting that if you're a minister today and you think you're a minister, it is a Galamsey boy who made you a minister. So there was a partnership in the campaign that perhaps Ghanaians may have been unaware of.
But did Joseph Yamin use the word Galamsey boys?
No, he didn't say that. He said a criminal. He was responding to the allegation that he's being investigated for Galamsey. He said, those criminals, those boys you are calling criminals, calling them criminals, they made you minister. Those boys, he said, yes, he may be a criminal, but it is being a criminal that made you a minister. So what is the nexus between a criminal conduct and a person becoming a minister in President Mohammed's government? That's what we need to investigate.
Right.
Now we are hearing that it's getting to the Volta River, which is what we were hoping will never happen. That's what the people who are monitoring the Galamsey are reporting, that it's getting to the Volta River. President Mahama says that state of emergency is not an immediate thing that has to be done.
Right.
But if you look at the 120 points, the 120 days ambition that the government sets for itself, you will find in there stop all illegal mining or ban all illegal mining in one of the 120 days agenda that the government set. So if the president, who is in charge, says that, yes, state of emergency, I hear you, but it's not something that is immediate, and he gives his reasons, which are true, it's going to have an economic implication on the government, it's going to have an employment situation on the government. These are the things that he said. So he has firmly moved the Galamsey conversation into a political question. The state of emergency is a problem because this is a cash cow. It's giving us a lot of money. And it also is creating some reliefs in the employment sector for young people. If that is the position of the government, then we may be in trouble.
The Attorney General decided to act on that intel and referred the matter to another state institution to investigate. That is being proactive. That is responsibility. But you had a situation where a former minister responsible for environment presented a report in which he indicted even the president's most powerful uncle, a cousin, and no investigation was conducted. So the two are not the same. That tells you the commitment of this government when it comes to the fight against illegal mining and our readiness not to entertain any politically exposed person associated with the government or the party in matters of Galamsey. That decision should let you know that there's a difference in any case.
Other stories, the Teachers and Educational Workers Union has declared an indefinite nationwide strike beginning Friday, September 19, 2025. According to a statement signed by the General Secretary of TEWU, King James Azotiba, the strike is in protest against the government's continued delay in signing their conditions of service. Azotiba further called for the inclusion of other institutions as key benefits being provided by the government. Staff of the Ghana Library Authority and the Museums and Monuments Board must also be included in the payment of the GES non-teaching staff continuous professional development allowance in September 2025. TEWU demanded the union also raised concerns about prolonged delays in promotions and discrepancies in compensation for promoted staff. General Secretary of TEWU, King James Azotiba, is joining us on the phone. Hello, good afternoon to you, sir.
On the
good afternoon to you
Council.
and your listeners.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and all your listeners nationwide.
Thank you. I wanted to find out from you, what are your unmet demands at the moment?
What our...
The demands that you are asking that have not been met, what are they?
Okay, our demands are the immediate negotiation, conclusion, and signing of all the conditions of service from our members in the public universities, the public technical universities, the Ghana Education Service, the Museums and Monuments Board, and the Ghana Library Authority. That is something that we are not going to compromise, but we have exhausted all our patience, and we've exhausted all our complaints and directives that have been given by the National Labour Commission since 2024.
All right, so you also raised concerns about prolonged delays in promotion and discrepancies. Tell us more about it.
Yeah. In the Ghana Education Service, we have two categories of employees, the teachers and the non-teaching, what we call the educational support personnel. Then we give educational support for the teachers to do the academic and teaching work in the classrooms. And then we, among the S2, we also have the senior staff and the junior, the lower rank and the senior rank. Well, for the senior ranks, unlike the teachers who go for licensure examination and they write, and you pass and they promote you, we go through the senior rank, go through an interview process. And then when that interview process is done, and you pass the interview based on certain job description and then performance evaluation, then when you pass with the written interviews, when you pass, you then deserve promote. Sometimes the challenges that we are having is that some of these senior officers, they are promoted, they are not placed properly on the scale. Some are not promoted at all, even after going through the interviews. And they are in promotion arrears over 60 years, but as per our condition of service, every 3 years, if there's availability of vacancy, every employee needs to progress to the next level. And so these are the things. And then when you come to the lower ranks are supposed to be interviewed and promoted at the district level of the Ghana Education Service. You can imagine we have about 275 districts now. And the district director, sometimes when these people are due for promotion, they either don't look at their faces, they don't take them serious, or when they even promote them, they are not placed properly on the scale to be paid by the controller and the accountant general. These are the few, some of them challenges that we are facing when it comes to promotion. And we are saying that once our condition of service is signed, we are sure that whatever it contains concerning promotion will follow it to the latter.
So finally, until your demands are met, are you not going to go back to work?
Nobody is going to work. Yes, we know we have essential services members among us. The security, yes, we keep some of them skeleton at post. But everybody, we expect everybody to lay down their tools and go.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. James Azotiba. Thank you. And away from that, residents of Agona, Kwansakrum in Agona East District of the Central Region have made a passionate appeal to government as a matter of urgency to provide them with boreholes to serve as alternative water source, and their request comes at the back of severe water crisis in many parts of the Central Region due to shutdown of the Kwenyako headworks.
Ghana Water Company Limited in the past few days announced a shutdown of its Agona Kwenyako treatment plant due to activities of illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey upstream of the Ayikuma River in the eastern region, a situation which has affected over 10 districts in the central region, including Agona East District. Residents of Agona Kwansakrum, one of the affected villages, have lamented over the difficulty in getting access to clean water. Residents say they have to trek long distances in search of water since water has ceased to flow through their taps for over 2 months. Speaking to Metro News, some local food vendors and residents highlighted their plight and called for government intervention.
I plead with government say, brand because before you and so be drive school now time far echo. Teachers need complaining, some of funny ballet, and your fault.
Bear was some probus maybe, and Yansu. How much about 5 o'clock and I'm in the Prema? Your coach is 3 o'clock upon the end. Look, we finish your panel, yeah, we say that. Yansu, you slab and or a slanala. Andre Yansu, the Yansu pipe on the dress and mind into the motor to go on my head.
You have the mechanized borehole that I think the Veronica 4 gallons and fetch and then bring it out. Even transportation, taking about 4 gallons. It's expensive. So we are suffering.
Assembly member for the electoral area in Estina, Etumwa Saki, says the district assembly is working hard to drill some boreholes in the area to remedy the situation.
My honorable DC has assured us that they are going to contact the technical man so that he will come again for us to site a new place so that they will come and drill it for us. So I'm hoping that by God willing, from tomorrow going, the technical man will come so that we look for another site, yes, so that we can drill it for people to get potable water.
Meanwhile, District Chief Executive for Agona East, Samuel Oscar Mensah, has called for immediate halt to illegal mining upstream of the Ayikuma River.
The cause of this crisis is as a result of Galamsey activities up north in the eastern region. People are engaged in Galamsey activities, and we people from Agona are, facing the consequence. And as an interim measure, we've been able to drill some boreholes because President Mahama asked us to commit some part of the President's Assembly Common Fund to drill boreholes. So we are doing that. Apart from that, we are also repairing some boreholes throughout the district. Then apart from that, we are also supplying water to the various second cycle institutions and health centers. We are doing that just to alleviate the problem. It's for the people who are engaged in Galamsey activities to put a halt to it so that we get clean water to undertake our various activities.
Let's look at some other stories on floods. Residents of Ayikuma and surrounding communities in the Shai Osudoku district are counting their loss after heavy floods submerged homes and farmlands. The incident happened just hours after the district chief executive Ignatius Godfrey Dodoi and NADMO officials led a cleanup exercise in nearby towns.
Earlier in the day, the district chief executive of Shai Osudoku, Ignatius Godfrey Dudoi, together with officials of the National Disaster Management Organization, other departmental heads, supervised a cleanup in Doyimu and Kodiabe. The team desilted choked drains, swept streets, and inspected drainage systems. The district chief executive used the exercise to warn residents to join the National Sanitation Program or face the law.
Before you come to total enforcement, you should do a bit of sensitization, a bit of motivation. And you remember I announced that I'll give the cleanest electoral area 5,000 Ghana cedis at the end of the year after assessment. So that is the enforcement side, that's the sensitization side. When we come to the critical measure of taking drastic action, where we send them to court, it's a new regime. I'm a new firebrand person, and my regime is not meant to fail in terms of enforcement. But of course, you have to commence from the point of persuasion before you finally climax it to enforcement.
The Greater Accra NADMO Director, Dennis Nati Ajano, who also serves as an assembly member, cautioned strongly against building on waterways, describing it as a major cause of flooding.
Educate some of the community members. Most of them are oblivious of the fact that once they construct without permits, the Act 936 gives the assembly the opportunity or the authority to demolish without recourse to any court action. And so we have informed them. So the houses of fence, we've seen some fence walls that are now coming up, blocking waterways. We'll put all of them down.
But just 2 hours later, heavy rainfall triggered severe flooding in Ayikuma. Homes, farmland, and part of the main road were left underwater. Residents scrambled to safety, with many abandoning their belongings as the floodwaters rose. Some households lost properties and some residents remained stranded in submerged areas. Farmland critical to the community's livelihood were also washed away. The flooding has left residents calling on both the district assembly and central governments to urgently construct proper drainage systems to prevent future disasters.
And on Tidy GH this afternoon, the Korle Klottey Municipal Assembly, in collaboration with the Green Africa Youth Organization, a climate advocacy group, have organized a validation workshop on Zero Waste Playbook aimed at reducing waste and promoting recycling in Ghana. The playbook, when adopted, co-founder of the organization, Desmond Alugnoa, maintains can reduce cost-related waste management by 40%.
Accra is facing a growing waste problem, with a staggering 30% of its daily waste left uncollected. The city streets are cluttered, drains are clogged, and the environment is struggling under the weight of unmanaged waste. Though there are efforts to improve waste collection through initiatives like waste source separation and composting, the task remains daunting given the sheer volume of waste and the need for more investment in waste management infrastructure. Speaking at a stakeholders workshop to validate the framework on Zero Waste Playbook put together by Green Africa Youth Organization, a non-governmental organization, its co-founder, Desmond Alugnoa, said the new framework aimed at creating blue and green circular economies within communities by recovering materials and promoting sustainable consumption can reduce costs related to waste management by 40%.
Adopting this Zero Waste Playbook is going to help them in their respective institutions to reduce cost related to waste management. Now, commercial entities in the city of Accra normally think that waste management is an added cost. They normally think that it's expensive to actually manage waste properly. But what this Zero Waste Playbook has demonstrated is that managing waste through the Zero Waste Playbook, managing waste through source separation, recycling as the last end result, is going to reduce the cost that is allotted to waste management at least by 40%. And this has been explained to people, and I think that's one thing in the playbook that really stood out.
Some participants spoke to Metro News about their impression of the validation workshop.
That one of the ways of getting people to do waste audits and collect data is possibly incentivizing them. So for example, if you have metal waste pickers who are going around and you want to know how much has been collected in a month, in a day, in a year, you could have an app where they record all of this data, and then some of that data could maybe generate points that they could redeem as cash or as rent money or as airtime or as data. So incentivizing people so that they can take some of that data for you and take time out of their day-to-day to do that.
For the past 5 years, GAIO has been championing waste management initiatives across Africa, focusing on sustainability, waste repurposing, and job creation.
Ghana's non-traditional exports have shown consistent growth over the years, rising from $145.4 million in 1997 to $2.25 billion at the end of 2024. According to the Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Free Zones Authority, Dr. Mary Ewusi, the sector has recorded approximately $1 billion in export value for the first quarters of 2025.
The Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Free Zones Authority, Dr. Mary Ewusi, was speaking at the media launch of the 30th anniversary of the authority. She noted that capital investment in the sector has seen a significant increase from $117 million in 1997 to $354.8 million in 2024. She added that by the end of the second quarter of 2025, an additional $70 million had already been invested in the sector, with projections indicating that new investor capital is expected to drive growth by the end of the year.
These enterprises have lifted Ghana's non-traditional exports from $145.4 million in 1997 to $2.25 billion as at the end of 2024. The export value for the first quarter of 2025 alone stands at $1 billion. In just the first half of 2025, several companies have been licensed, and this reflects the confidence investors have in government initiatives and policies such as the 24-hour economy policy and the research agenda.
Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjari, during the media launch of the anniversary, commended the authority's bold economic journey, adding that the authority stands as a critical pillar in Ghana's trade and industrialization agenda.
As we mark this milestone, let us recognize that the Ghana Free Zones Authority, not just a regulator, but a strategic partner in Ghana's economic transformation. With the implementation of forward-looking policies, the strengthening of strategic partnership, and the guidance of the visionary leadership of Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Free Zones Authority is well positioned to usher in a new era. Strengthen infrastructure, utilities, logistics, and internet connectivity to support the 24-hour industrial operations.
Currently, the authority has licensed 339 enterprises with 306 active, comprising of a blend of wholly Ghanaian, wholly foreign and joint ventures.
That's it for Newsbeat on Good Afternoon Ghana. Over to you, Desmond.
Thank you very much, Nana Kwesi, for bringing us the news updates. So we're going to be getting into the rest of the conversations for the afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, we'll take a look at Dr. Bawumia's campaign so far and speak to the Director of Communications for the Bawumia campaign, that is Dennis Miracle Saboaje. And also, let's delve into the fight against illegal mining. Government says that there's a proposal, there are plans to establish military bases at some of these places where illegal mining is rife. Is that the solution to what is happening right now? We'll delve into that. So stay with us. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us, please.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model, securing your safety, creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
You've seen nothing yet. This Big Brother Naija Season 10. It's 10 times the drama, 10 times the rivalry, and 10 times the game. This is certified. No zero, no minus. Big Brother Naija Season 10. Showing 24/7 on DSTV and on GoTV. Gold sponsor, Guinness.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
The second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Trotro from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Obeying later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Go be from to be luckiest. From not the pure cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God down for boom. If you're poor, what's that? So would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Election year, ye hear Kabum Pao. Ye hear Kabum. Elintina, Miminim say, ye we election year, ya me, and Mammy Frank Haya. Maka Obia, Menino, Echo, Sa competition, Maka Obia, a boom, Naya ko, Aqua year 2028 election. No. Enti, me pese Obia who say, Mini Obia ni asemo. Mini obia ni asem enti memma obinti won koto ba mame ebi a obi na order me campaign ni enim umpe no enti o say we wa ho amentom ma Dr. Bawumia pacho jaino na beto mama why manu fanu to nchen na beto abano emmame yetu abaye ye research ewie yenim se aban ene ye party yaye infomso bebre ewo ye governance no mu niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye ye mebi so wo ho a ye ya anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti mejina ha ye nyina ye ka ho bi vice president ministers MPs board chairman, appointees, Yenina, Yayem from so, Pacho, Monfanche and why, Monfanche, Yenina, Yaya and from so, Monfanche, Na, Yesuya, your lessons. Nyamea Dum and Amode Franca and Shemesa, maybe ye president, Embassabium. Ya belle any lessons, Monfanche, Embassabium. yetu abayewie ye research ewie ye nimse aban ene ye party yaye mfomso bebre ewo ye governance no mo niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye ye mebi tu wo ho a ye ya anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti mejina ha ye nyina ye ka ho bi vice president, ministers, MPs, board chairman, appointees. Yenyina ya yem from so pacho monfanche and why monfanche yenyina ya from so monfanche na yesua your lessons. Nyame adom ena mode franka ane shemensa me be ye president embasabium ya beleni ye lessons monfanche embasabium 2028 election yidie ye hian kabom pao ye hian kabom elintina miminim se ye wie election ya me emma me franka ya maka obia meneno eko sa competition maka obia abom na ya akọ ye 2028 election no enti me pese obia hu se mini obia ni asem enti memma obi nti won koto ba mame ebi ya obi na order me campaign ni enim umpe no enti o say we wa ho amentum ma Dr. Bawumia pacho jaino na beto mama why.
All right, so that was Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia in the Ashanti region as he engaged members of the party from the constituency executives to the regional council of elders in the area. Rounded that off on Friday, and today I want to put the spotlight on his campaign. One has been going on so far, and so we'll get into that. We're live on Facebook, Metro TV Ghana, DSTV channel 277, and also on the multi-TV Digibox. My name is Desmond Okrekudan, so sitting in for Annie for Ampofu today. Our guest is a friend of the show. I mean, that is Miracles Dabwaje Ezia. He's director of communications for the Bawumia campaign team. He is here. Good afternoon, Dennis. Welcome. Yep. How have you been doing this though? Talking about moving around. You know, you're always on the road doing something. Take time to cool down. Please put on your microphone. Great.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
So you know you have a job to do in government, and then you have a job to do in opposition. So I think we are trying to do the opposition job quite well.
Okay.
Our job is simply to remain the voice of the people and ensure that we demand accountability from the government at all times. It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Because it has its own impediments. But we are committed to the cause.
You're committed to that?
Yes.
How many hours of sleep do you get in a day?
I would say 4.5 hours. Not bad. That's like, I mean, you're supposed to do 8 hours.
You're supposed to do 8 hours.
Yeah, so I'm doing 4.5.
Half of that, wow.
Because basically, I mean, so you are probably retiring to bed like 1 a.m. By 4:35, you should be up.
Should be up.
Yeah.
Get it going. I remember what you said in an interview that if you're working with Dr. Bawumia, you've got to be sharp with what you're doing.
Because he's up at 3. So you wake up to his messages and then you have to respond to them.
You have to respond to
that. Exactly.
And the response you need to give, he knows it already.
Oh yeah, I mean, we are just there because we have to, but he knows his stuff.
He knows what
he knows his stuff. And he's trying to sort of consolidate all the other ideas and see whether they fit into what he's trying to do. But it's an exciting experience because you always have to think.
And so when people say things about him, you know, even I think just yesterday again I saw on TikTok as he was going to the Asante
the Ashanti funeral.
Yes. In the vehicle in the bus with his wife and other dignitaries.
Yeah.
People are still saying that why is he not talking to his all of these things, and then when it comes to politics and some other things that people get to say about him, when you hear these things, how do you react?
I mean, it's politics.
Or how does he feel about them?
No, politics is politics. I mean, you see, if you put me in a room and we use a Ghanaian context, Ghanaian political terrain. If there are 10 people, you're likely to have 4 of them praising me,
okay,
and 4 going directly opposite to the praise,
Mhm.
and 2 remaining neutral.
Yeah, neutral.
That is just the political terrain. And so if you are in the space where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is, you keep your eye on the ball, which is the vision that you have for the nation.
Mm.
And once you are convinced, you live on your conviction, and you make sure that you get to the point where you have the opportunity to implement it. But if you say you're going to open your ears to all of it, like I said, you are always going to be that distracted or demotivated.
You're a politician, so you should expect some of these
Exactly.
things.
I mean, it's part of the job. Not for some people, competition is dragging the opponent down. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia believes that competition is sharing superior ideas. So for him, you may have a brilliant idea. How does he get one that is better than yours? And in a sane civil society, that is how competition should be. But in the political, pure partisan political space, for some people, they need to drag you down,
to drag you through
make
it.
you look bad, and then it doesn't matter which level they are. Once they're able to make you look bad, even if they are terrible, they look good. And that's the whole idea. But once you understand this, you stay focused, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is very, very, very focused. I'm sure anybody that has followed him would know that over the years, he's been consistent. For him, it's been about the ideas, it's been about competing ideas, it's been about the transformation of this country, and he's focused on the cause.
Okay. After the 2024 election, as a team, the NPP, but as the Bawumia team, what did he say to you after the declarations, whether he knew that you had lost the election as a team? What are the things that he said to you on the way to get back up?
Well, he was quite clear that we have a superior vision to what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has. Unfortunately, the good people of this country thought otherwise. And so his view is that we need to stick together, stay strong, stick to the cause, allow the party to go through the reorganization, and then when the reorganization is done, we would regroup and see where the issues are. And since the party went through a process, set up a committee to do a review. The review has been done. The committee has its issues, identified the issues, has done some recommendations for the future, presented it to the National Council. It is on the back of that we went to do some of the reforms in our constitution at the conference. And so based on all of these things and based on the outcome of the party's own review, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia believes that the Ghanaian people are still in dire need of what he represents and the transformational plan he has for this country. And so he would give it another try.
Okay. On the back of that, so when did he begin this Ashanti Regional Tour? I know he rounded up on Friday. How long had
it was
he been
Wednesday.
there?
It was just a 3-day.
Okay.
So the Ashanti Regional Tour, call it a whistle stop.
Okay.
It's been a feature of his campaign, and typically he will do a lot of stakeholder engagement before he goes full blown. The full blown campaign is yet to take off. That is where he would go to the constituencies and meet the polling station executives, sit down with them and have conversations with them. For now, he's involved in a lot of stakeholder engagement, both internal and external, talking to party officers at various levels, talking to traditional authorities, civil society organizations. If you're going to run a country,
yes,
and
to
if you're
gauge their thoughts.
Yes, and if you're going to lead a party, you must make sure that you have a broad view of the issues, and people from various stakes also understand what you are bringing to the table before you zoom in. And so I'm sure even in the next few days, he may touch base again with Eastern region and some other regions to just do some of these stakeholder engagement with the constituency executives.
Okay.
Latest by the end of the month, entering into early October, he will now zoom into the polling station level engagement. That is where now the party people sit. They are the owners of the party, and that is where now you present your vision and your mission to them.
With these engagements, what are the things that have been said to him What are the things that you've picked from the people that you've engaged, as you mentioned, traditional authorities, the constituency executives, all of these people? What have they said, and you've added it to your notes, going forward into the proper campaign?
Well, I think that the posture Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has is one that creates the environment for people to make a lot of input.
Okay.
And so you go to a place and people tell you, you know what, the vision is clear, we cannot align, we cannot connect with it, we see what you see, you've been able to move it to that level, but there are a few things that we believe in our past government. And these are the party people speaking to you.
Okay.
In our own past government, we believe we should never get to, some of which they will list to him. And so you recall the video you just played. At some point, he was actually apologizing to the party people. It has a context. The point he was making is that we made a lot of strides. We achieved a lot in government. But of course, there were other things that we couldn't do. For example, the party people who were seated in that room, a lot of them made a clamor call for a reshuffle, which as a government, we did not hit to. There were specific policies that the party people themselves asked for. For example, for a very long time, the party people asked for the revocation of the e-levy, something that we didn't do as a government, even though our own party people asked for. Our own party people asked for specific reshuffles. We didn't do. His view is that, and the party people actually tell him that it is one of the reasons why close to 2 million of our own party people refused to turn out to vote on election day.
Okay.
Because they felt that, well, we spoke to you about several things, you didn't listen, we are not going to come. And it showed in the results. You realize that the NDC didn't appreciate much in terms of their base, what they even got in the previous elections, but the MPP lost a lot of votes. So that gives us a vivid picture of what is required to be done going into the future. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's posture is, let's say, we are building this together. We are moving into the future. The journey is one that we are all collectively involved. We apologize. Clearly, you are right. Whether with the benefit of hindsight, whatever it is, you are clearly right. These things shouldn't have happened. We should at least have done basic things like reshuffling and all those things that you requested for. We apologize. It will not happen again. It is a learning process. We have learned from it. Fortunately, all of us are here in this room, and we know what happened in the past. Based on that, I believe if we stick together, dust ourselves up, put ourselves together, we should be able to become a much more formidable team going into the future, not just for our party, but even for Ghana. Because we'll be going into a government where we know all the things we did right, and we are very much aware of the things that we could have done better for which we didn't do. And so it is no longer going to be just a learning process for us in the next government, but we would have learnt and clearly have what it is that we need to do in mind once we touch base. And the party people are receiving it very, 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 very well.
Talking about the video, so the context is the apology was to the party faithful.
The party people who were
there in the room.
Of course, the party, I mean, they are Ghanaians.
Okay.
You recall that there are certain things that a lot of people were asking for.
Okay.
You know, the party MPP is represented fully in each of the polling stations in this country, over 40,000.
Yeah.
And so when they speak, it is the voice of the people. When they tell you something, you should be mindful and know that it is the people speaking.
So not
the EC basically has an average of 500 voters, average, in an album. Okay. And if you have, in every polling station, if you have your people telling you that this is what our people in our polling station are asking for, it is the voice of the people. And so if the people asked, the people of this country asked for reshuffling, they asked for e-levy to be removed, and we didn't remove it, and he's talking to them, it is fair that he renders this.
I asked that because you mentioned context, so I wanted to find out, was it to NPP people in the room or generally to Ghanaians?
Oh, no, the context is with respect to the issues.
The issues.
What brought out the apology.
Okay.
And what brought out the apology is the fact that they pointed out clear-cut things that you should have done in government, for which reason you were likely to even be allowed to continue as a government, which you didn't do.
Okay.
Do you admit those things? Dr. Bawumia looked at them and said, of course, we could have done the reshuffle. Of course, he personally had always been against e-levy anyway, and we could have removed e-levy. He had always been against the betting tax and could have removed the betting tax. We didn't do it. And he feels that for all of us, as a party, who will be going back to the Ghanaian people to ask for their mandate, even to you, first of all, we apologize. Can we now dust ourselves up and put ourselves together so that we can be much more formidable with the experience we've gathered and make sure that we do not repeat some of these things we experience in the next government?
Do those statements not throw his boss under the bus?
No. What it actually does is that it shows how much of a team player he is.
Okay.
Because then he's owning up to a government that he was part of.
He was part of.
Exactly. I mean, other persons can say,
So
well,
why didn't that happen? Why didn't the things that people were calling for, why did it not happen when in government?
Well, you see, leadership comes with so many things.
Okay.
There's something that one entrepreneur, I've forgotten the author, wrote in a book. He said, when you're not in the boardroom and you don't have all the facts, sometimes your understanding of the issues may be entirely different from what is in the boardroom.
Okay.
When you have the benefit of hindsight, everybody is wise. You are aware of that. And so you should be rest assured that some of these slips may happen.
Okay.
What do you do, or the difference between a bad leader and a good one, is the one that is able to look back and appreciate the things that they could have done better and use that to inform future decisions. And I think that is what is most important at this point.
Okay. So you mentioned that in the coming few days, you may be moving to other regions to continue with this. What are you selling? You're using a tagline for Dr. Bawumia. What's it? I forgot. I think.
Win with Bawumia.
Win with Bawumia.
Yeah, win with Bawumia. And basically what Bawumia is telling the party people is that of all the aspirants seeking to be flag bearers or the MPP, he's the one that is giving us the best and fastest path to victory in 2028. He's the most prepared candidate, he's the most formidable candidate, and he's the winnable of all of them. Remember that this particular conversation we are having is within the context of MPP presidential primaries.
Okay.
So the comparisons are with
the
fellow
other candidates.
aspirants. We'll get to the national elections later.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as compared to the other aspirants, is the only one that has been at the forefront of our party in the last 16 years at the highest level. None of them matches to him. In fact, for 5 elections, he has been at the forefront, 4 of which he has been a running mate, and the recent one, which was a presidential candidate. He knows the journey. He's traveled the path. He knows where to stop, where to run, where there is a slip, where there are potholes. So if we have an election as close as in the next 1,182 days, you need a candidate that is already prepared to take the journey. You need a candidate that will enter the room and said, the last time when we took left, we fell. Can we look at what is on the right? You don't need a candidate that will say, we are at the crossroad, where do we go? For another guess work.
Okay.
We have in him, fortunately, a candidate that has traveled the journey and is ready to go and is no longer going to learn on the job. Remember also that we are going to go against an opponent in the NDC. The NDC, they are not nice people. The NDC is a very shameless political party when it comes to abuse of incumbency. And so if you're going to go into a contest with them, I mean, this thing that say, don't laugh. It is common knowledge. It is common knowledge.
I'll say that
even they themselves,
you're very good friends. You're calling them.
They will not, even they, when they are in this room, they will not deny it. But they know. Call my friend Sami and ask him. They didn't know. You see, when it comes to them, they are ruthless. And so if you're going to go into a contest with them, you need a very formidable politician.
Okay.
One that can stand up to them. And for 16 years, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has proven that he is so selfless that he can put himself in a line of fire for the MPP without looking back, without thinking, what is going to happen to me as a person? For him, so long as he gives the New Patriotic Party an advantage, he would sacrifice himself for that cause, for that purpose. That is the kind of formidability we need in our next leader that will take us into 2028. Then, of all the candidates, he's the winnable one. And winnable because, you see, in every failure, there is a blessing. In every slip, sometimes you slip to gather a lot more vim and energy to rise.
And get up.
It happens a lot of times. The political history or the electoral history in this country is clear. Any candidate that is running for the first time for president against a candidate that has run before is likely to lose. Like data shows that.
We've seen that in this country.
There's no dispute about that. It has never happened that a candidate is running for the first time and he wins against a candidate that is running. Kufuor went against President Rawlings in 96, he lost. Even though Kufuor was hugely liked. President Mills came in 2000 as assistant vice president against a two-time President Kufuor running for the second time in 2000. In fact, President Mills' scenario was just like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's scenario in 2024. Because he was a vice president to President Rawlings.
Yeah.
They were attempting a third term.
Okay.
They were attempting a third term. And the expectation was that, oh, vice president going for a third term, you can win. But Kufuor was coming for the second time as a candidate. And the Ghanaian people felt, we've been hearing this Kufuor guy for a while. Can we just give him a chance? Atta Mills lost. In 2008, Professor Mills went against a hugely popular politician in Ekufuor. Ekufuor, before he started running as candidate for MPP, he was popular.
Yeah.
He was an advocate, like he was a political activist, attorney general, foreign affairs minister, but he lost. And guess what? That was a time when his flagship campaign message was free SHS.
Yes, remember that 2008.
But he lost because the Ghanaian social psyche takes time to accept you and soak your message. Fast forward in 2024, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was running for the first time against a perennial candidate of the NDC, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
And he's lost.
He's lost. Now, the NDC in 2028 have no choice. They are going to present a new candidate. In there is our advantage. The advantage is that we have an opportunity to present a candidate that is well marketed, that is very experienced, that is known by name and by face in every corner of this country, that doesn't need too much to tell the teacher, the doctor, the businessman, because they've heard him over and over again against a completely new candidate from the NDC. If we are to go by data, and if we are to accept that history has anything to do with politics, and if we are to accept that politics is science, then clearly, to be strategic, you would go for a candidate that has all of these things on their side against an assumed performer. Because all the other aspirants are simply saying, yeah, my name is Dennis Marcos Awaje, I am this, I am that, I think I can win.
Give me a chance.
You could win, but you could lose. You could get 80%, but you could also get 70%.
Yeah.
You could also get 20%. Now, between you, who is simply saying, I am who I am, give me the opportunity, versus Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, whom we have presented before, and has proven that in the most difficult situation, because for MPP, I don't think we are going to have any elections in the foreseeable future that is more difficult than 2024. Look at the circumstance. Look at the environment. Look at the situation.
Did it really hit you hard?
Of course. Look at the environment. I don't think there's going to be any. And yet, he managed to pull nearly 48%. We have the 48% to prove that in his worst form, he can do 48. You say you can do 50, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
Indeed, you can, or you may not. Every election is a risk.
Yeah.
So between the proven candidate versus you who is saying we should count on hope, it's fair.
No way you mentioned that.
Strategically, we go for the one that we can actually count on, especially because the election is too close for us to gamble.
Okay.
And you see, the other thing for the MPP is that if we should lose, God forbid, 2028, the likelihood for the new NDC person to do 2 terms is very, very high.
True.
And that pushes it very far off. So 2028 is a cracker. It's a deal breaker for us that it is not that election that we're going to do try and error and risk and, based on
straight to the,
count on your hope and your assumptions. We have to go for the one that at least we can measure. And that is why we say, when we say Akana and Pe, we are not saying Akana and Pe relative to the national elections. We are saying between you, who is telling us that we should hope and trust that you can do 50%. Yeah. Even though you haven't done it before, so you are basically at zero.
To show us what you've done.
Versus the one that has actually done it before and we have the 42% to show. Between you and him, you are looking for 50. But him, at least we can tell that all things being equal and holding everything constant, if nothing changes, with just 9%, he can cross the line for us. Strategically, we are better placed with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia than the others. That is not to say that the others cannot do it. But we are saying the risk level, even Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is also a risk. Everybody is a risk because it's an election.
Yeah.
But if we are to weigh the risk level, if we are to find X by using probability, then probability that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has run before, can win is better and higher
than
we
who
haven't run before, especially because our political and electoral history proves that if you are coming for the second time against a new candidate, like we are going to have in the NDC, you are likely to win against that candidate.
And so that brings me to the question about, then now it makes me know that you've really done a lot of research, especially with the NDC, and knowing that you'd be facing. What were those who say that? Dr. Bawumia was part of this whole team that we have talked about that led us to that loss in 2024. Let's just give some people the opportunity to lead the party, and let's see what they can also do. And that's what's been the message from the other candidates. And then it now goes on to the whole frame of the party. People are saying a lot of things, backing at each other, all of those things. How are you taking that from knowing that internally as a party, this is what is happening with us?
So you see, for any aspirant or opponent internal against Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that's the only thing they have to say. But unfortunately for them, the data doesn't support them. Indeed.
I see you're a data man.
I mean, politics is science. I'm a political science student. Politics is science.
Yeah.
Indeed, one can argue that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia losing 2024 has even placed him better ahead of all the others.
Really?
Because I've given you the statistics.
Okay, that him losing gives him the opportunity.
Especially when he is running against a new candidate from the NDC.
Okay.
So, in fact, anybody that attempts to use the 2024 loss as a weapon against Bawumia is rather strengthening him. Because you are a new candidate. We don't know what you can do. Everything you are telling us is your own words. You are going to run against a new candidate against the NDC. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia lost 2024, yes. But the electoral statistics prove that the one that lost before is likely to win against a new candidate. So that takes you out. So if I were the other aspirant, I would not even bring that argument. Because that argument rather moves them out of the contest. Tell me one president in this country that has become president, apart from Jerry John Rawlings, that never lost an election. One. Every president we've had in this country became president after they lost elections. So losing an election rather emboldens you to become president than removes you from the contest. And so that conversation rather places Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in a pole position to become president of this country. Otherwise.
And again, to the question, the latter part of it, where we're going to have an internal election to choose our flag bearer, and instead some to tell us what they can do, they're going on a tangent that is rather putting the whole party in a bad light. People are saying that, there are a lot of cracks in the party. You can see from what this candidate is saying, from this person is saying this, insulting and all of those things. Then how's this going to help the NPP?
The Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is clear. Rhetoric, conversation, insults, mudsliding, maligning, they don't convince anybody. Look around. You barely have politicians who insult become victorious in any contest. So if your strategy is to insult and run others down, continue. You will lose. Ours is to stick to the issues, deal with the issues. We prefer to highlight our strength than even think about your weaknesses. Because your weaknesses bring nothing to us. What gives us advantage is the strength Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia possesses. And so we continue to urge all our party people across the country to stick to the issues and shy away completely from these unnecessary attacks at each other. We don't think it helps. And that will be our constant admonition. That is how far we can go. For now, we will lead the way like we've been doing. I'm sure you know Dr. Bawumia is the one at the receiving end of all the attacks. But he's not perturbed because we are clear in our minds that the party people know what they want. See, we know the psyche of the MPP delegate. I have been a polling station youth organizer. I've been a polling station chairman. I've been a constituency deputy youth organizer, constituency youth organizer. I've been a municipal chief executive. 3 elections in my constituency, I was campaign manager. Various roles at the regional level, various roles at the national level. I know what the MPP delegate wants. They want to win the elections. They are not interested in your insult. They don't care about your attacks. You can attack whoever you want. If they think that this person is the one that will give them victory, like they are clear in their minds, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a person that can give us victory in 2028, they will vote for him, and your attacks won't mean anything.
Okay, so if you just tuned in, we're speaking to Dennis Miracles Zabwaji. He's Director of Communications for the Bawumia campaign team, talking about his tour in the Ashanti region and other things regarding the presidential race in the party. Later, we'll be talking about the fight against illegal mining. Dennis has a lot to say about it, so we'll get into that. And also, Paul White will join us later as we look at it from a security point of view. Dennis, coming back to you on this election, I see you wrote something on Facebook. I think it was for Kwesi Kwarteng or something like that.
I was responding.
Yes, you are responding
to an attack that came
an attack coming from them.
Yeah.
Do you have to respond?
Oh, I mean, once in a while. I think once in a while you must just set the record straight. It was just to set the record straight. You know, sometimes when people can peddle falsehood for a very long time, and it must sound like truth in the ears of people. And so sometimes when a particular falsehood is peddled about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for a very long time, it's only proper that we once in a while set the record straight. But I think by far that is the only time we have even bothered to set any record straight. We haven't had a reason to. If another one comes out, we would set that record straight.
If another one,
it's just setting the record straight.
Okay, interesting. So from yesterday, as Dr. Bawumia was at the funeral, you know whether he's come back to Accra?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
he's back in Accra.
Yes, he's back in Accra.
How are you getting the youth on board? Because one of the things that came up from the review and all of that was that the youth of the party felt left out. How's Dr. Bawumia pushing towards that to get more youth, involved with him, getting to know what he's doing, so that they could spread the word to the others?
I think we must also be honest with ourselves that the NDC also did a very good job by turning, especially the youth, against the MPP. We must be very. That's why I told you 2024, a lot of odds were against us. See, are you aware that a 24-year-old person in 2024 was only 10 years old in 2010?
In 2010, yeah.
So for a typical 24-year-old, as at the time he was going to vote in 2024, or even your studio, ask all the young ladies here, the only memory or information they have on Galamsey is that the Kufuor brought Galamsey. You are aware?
True.
You can't tell them anything else. And yet, very few of them are aware that the Galamsey on water and the forest area started in 2010. That indeed, the current president, who campaigned and turned the entire country against the president, Kufuor, actually was president in 2013. And that when he was president, Galamsey was so bad that he had a cause to set up an interministerial task force to fight Galamsey, which he failed. Because the minister he put in charge actually said that he has given up in the fight against Galamsey.
Okay.
But how many 24-year-olds know this? So you can imagine, even if 24-year-olds do not have memories of this, how about the 18-year-old?
Okay.
The 18-year-old, as of 2024, was basically 4 years old in 2010. So a lot of things were against us as a party by the time we were in 2024, where even between 24 years old to the last person who is 18-year-old and was going to vote, basically had the mindset that everything is a certain Kufuor, and that the current president is a saint.
Okay.
And if you had seen the water in 2024, and you were always hearing about Galamsey, and and we all agree.
I was going to hold that, so when we get to the
I'm just making a point to this.
Yeah, I get it.
We all agree that it was devastating, and you're a young person.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you ever want to see the face of this MPP?
No, you just know that.
Exactly. And so we should also admit that time would also vindicate a lot of things. Because eventually, now that the president himself is buying the gold from these Galamseyers, and now that Galamsey has tripled, eventually he's going to trigger in the minds of these young people to go and read and say, this guy, all the things you told us, well, you know the guy that told us that when you come, you do this, you do that, and you say the Kufuor, how come? And now they are going to know the truth. I mean, I was here, I think, on Thursday. Yeah. And by the next day, Friday, the number of messages in my DM on Facebook and Twitter from young people who are saying, how? We never knew that there was even a time in this country before a Kufuor where Galamsey was rife, and that the Kufuor rather came to inherit it and attempted to fight. We never knew. So for such people, I'm sure you will begin to see a shift.
Yeah.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign and vision is 95% youth focused.
Okay.
Go and read his manifesto. Everything is jobs, how he can create opportunity for the young people. And he's already shown with his scorecard how to do this. Are you aware that today we have millions of young people who are CEOs, the Snapchat CEOs and the Instagram CEOs.
And the LinkedIn CEOs.
Yes. And recently I was listening to one young influencer. In fact, so talk to the young ones, Amabelan, Gisela, Adjoati.
Hey, you know them, huh?
Oh, yes. And I was, I watch them because I'm like, a lot of things are changing. Gone are the days where we complete university and, we are holding our CVs.
And trying to look
because I look at them, I'm like, how are they doing it? But you pay close attention and you realize that certain things that they are now opportune to have in this country were not there during our time.
Yeah.
Those things, if they were there during our time, we could have taken advantage to also do some of the things that they are doing. So Adjoati, who simply started as a social media influencer, today says, I have over 10 people that I pay every month. Amabeland has a shop somewhere on the Harcho Road, thereabouts, selling her, products. They are doing amazing
Lots of young
things.
people doing great
People
stuff.
have forgotten that before 2017, you could not tell somebody that I've sent you the location on WhatsApp. You've forgotten. Before 2017, there was nothing like I've sent you location on WhatsApp. The lady is smiling, and that is the truth. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the one who came to introduce digital addressing system, made sure that every space in this country was mapped out, including even empty spaces without buildings. And so today in Accra, somebody in Swaman in Western North can send you a location on WhatsApp, and you would drive from here to the Western North to the person's house without asking anybody where the location is.
Okay.
That was the first opening to e-commerce for the young person. Then he went on to the mobile money interoperability. People have forgotten that before 2017, if you're on Vodafone, you cannot send money to MTN. You cannot send money from MTN to Airtel to go. People have forgotten. But today, because of that interoperability, it unlocked the e-commerce sector for the young persons.
For the youth.
Then look at all the things the amazing things they are doing on the internet.
Okay.
Using the power of digitalization, Ghana card. The reason why people are confident in dealing with people today is because your Ghana card
your Ghana card.
Your Ghana card is connected to your phone number. It's connected to your bank account. It's connected to your tax identification. It's connected to your pensions.
Okay.
And it's connected to your business registration. These things have unlocked many potentials. And these are the things Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia speaks of when he says that his ideas impact millions instead of few people. And once he gets the opportunity, he's going to do even more for the young Ghanaian to be able to thrive in every space he or she finds himself.
Dennis, let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll get into the conversation about illegal mining, the fight against the government plans to establish some military bases along the areas where illegal mining is rife. We'll get to talk about that. Our Paul Boateng, security analyst, will also join this conversation. Watching Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro TV. We're back shortly. Stay with us.
So congratulations to you and everybody that won on the bonus ticket. Okay, yes, we hope that next year you get on the luckiest again and win bigger than you won this time. Okay, so congratulations. Yes, wow, from the luckiest to you as one of the winners on this ticket. So congratulations.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. Money we define every day.
Me pay to the Benjamin. Sister, me dad, dear Betty, be an amium, me. I could eat that. Me many tears, some of them is a kind of set. Me made us to take it.
Sika, sit down to the moon. Juju so mo.
Bagi de ho dia. Me ba bi free.
So what you say bag na ma? What na me show?
Wow.
Say me nya confirm you. Na na mo soli o.
Hey!
I've been reluctant to implement a state of emergency in the Galamsey fight because we've not exhausted the powers we even have without a state of emergency. We have the opportunity to arrest anybody, to confiscate any such thing. There are laws for forest protection and all that give us enough powers to be able to act. Implementing a state of emergency might sound nice, but it should be the last extreme, the last resort. So for now, let's exercise all the powers we have. And if it becomes necessary for a state of emergency, then we'll look at it. It means we have to go to Parliament. The President can't just declare a state of emergency without, going to Parliament, because there's a limit to how long you can maintain that state of emergency. And so I believe that we still have leverage to continue to fight Galamsey without necessarily implementing a state of emergency. It means that we have to delineate the areas where the state of emergency is operational. And if you look at the area where Galamsey is taking place, it covers several districts of our country. And so we would do it if it becomes necessary. But for now, I think that we've given the security services enough powers to be able to deal with people who are found to be involved in Galamsey.
Okay, so welcome back from the break. That was President Mahama a few days ago, maybe more than a week ago, when he addressed the press, or he met the press at the Jubilee House. There was a question that was asked about the fight against illegal mining. Top of it, I'm sure now in the country, one of the things that anybody can think of at top of mind is state of emergency. And we're going to talk about that. That is Miracles Awajis. He's Director of Communications for the Bawumia campaign team. And also Paul Watson will be joining us via Zoom. He's a security analyst. We'll get into the details of that. Dennis, as I was saying, state of emergency is like the thing right now that the president, state of emergency declare and all of that. You listened to the president speak on that day, responding to questions about Galamsey. Did you watch? You watched it? You've watched? Your microphone, please.
I watched it from beginning to end, and I've watched it 5 times.
You've watched it 5 times, beginning to the end?
No, yes, 5 times. Even yesterday evening, I watched it from beginning to end again. Everything, like from beginning to end.
This particular answer he gave, how were you feeling when you were watching?
On the Galamsey one?
Yeah, on the Galamsey.
I was sad. You see, you can go and play all my videos on Galamsey, even when we're in power. I don't like Galamsey. I hate it. It doesn't matter who is doing it. And I want it ended. I want it to be dealt with. I remember when we were in power, I used to tell the NDC that the rate at which they were politicizing the Galamsey thing, it will come to bite and hurt all of us. I have a video I'll share with you. And they didn't budge. They bundled everything up, mixed everything, to the extent that at some point, we couldn't even defend each other. So for the NDC to have hijacked this whole Galamsey thing, make it political, and turn the entire country against Akufo-Addo, for me, was the most heartbreaking. I remember I used to scream my lungs out. I was trying to get everybody's attention, but nobody was listening. And here we are today. I am not surprised the response the president gave, because I know him. He has a history of nonchalant. In English, but nonchalant is French. Yeah. How do I say it in English? Nonchalant. He's had that posture about Galamsey for a very long time. It's not now. And I knew it. But you see, the MPP between 2020 to 2024, people were so angry with us that anything anybody says against us would work. Listen, Galamsey in river bodies, Galamsey in forest reserves started between 2010 and 2011. The kind of Galamsey we have today.
2010, 2011.
Yes. As for Galamsey, it's been there from colonial days. But those days, the Galamsey was the one when you go to the community, they dig. And they themselves, they go into the pits. So when we're in kids, they say, hey, Galamsey, people have died. When you go, it's not in river bodies. So it's in a community. Then they went in and they caved in. That time, it wasn't an issue because we advise you not to enter. If you enter and it caves on you, it's your decision. It doesn't affect all of us.
Yeah.
It was 2010 that the Galamseyers went into the forest area and the river bodies. There's a video. Anas Arimiya, Anas and Al Jazeera actually did a video, and he showed how dirty the water. As of 2010, the water was even much more dirty than what you are seeing now.
The one President Mills responded to.
That time, President Mills was actually standing in a cocoa farm somewhere in the eastern region when he went to see the flood in the farm. What they were doing at the time is that they diverted the river. They would divert an entire river Yesu through people's farm so they can mine. That is how bad it was at that time. The president now was vice president. He did zero about it. Until 2013 when he became president, then it became a big matter. Listen, 2013 to 2016, Galamsey was a bigger subject matter than even now. So he set up an interministerial task force to deal with Galamsey. And he told them that arrest the people, seize their equipment. So they went out there, led by Honorable Yunus Husseini. And Atete was a member. Mahama Yariga, majority leader now, was a member. They started burning.
The late Mark Oyongo was a member.
So you see the videos they are showing us since yesterday. The one Felix Kwachofosu and Sami Jemfi and Co are showing us as evidence of they fighting Galamsey. They did it in 2013 to 2016. They went out there, they were burning it, burning chamfans and everything. September 2016, the committee actually told the entire country that they are tired and that they have given up, that they don't think they can win the fight against Galamsey. This was said by the environment minister then, Mahama Yariga. He said, I have called the EPA boss, I have called the Minerals Commission boss, and I have told them that I don't think we cannot win this fight. Chiefs are involved, religious authorities are involved, assembly members are involved, politicians are involved. This was his West, 2016, September. It is as a result of this that the Nana Danko Akufo-Addo candidate then made a commitment that this thing is a serious matter. Vote for me. If I become president, I'll put in place alternate ways of dealing with this to see if it would work. So in the last 3 months to 2016 elections, Galamsey became number 2 on the issues, apart from free SHS.
Okay.
Then Akufo-Addo won. When he won, April 2017, that was when he took his first action. So when I hear the president says that it's been just 8 months, and 8 months is not enough to... And you see, the way the president puts it, he lied.
Yeah.
Again, he tried to create an impression as if it's an 8-year problem.
Okay.
So he says the damage that has been caused in 8 years,
in 8 years,
you cannot do anything about it in 8 months.
In a few months.
He failed to say that the damage that has been caused in 16 years, because it
since
comes
2010, 2011. Dennis, can you indulge me on this one? We've got a security analyst on the Paul Watson is on phone, and basically the fights against illegal mining and the latest one that government plans to establish military bases in some of these places where the menace is rife. We'll get into that. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us here on the show.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Great. Your first take on this one, when you heard that there are plans like this to establish some military bases, is this the solution we are looking at?
Well, I have already said something like that, but mine is a total approach, not selected places. I have stated it categorically that if the government has the political will to control, let me say, to mitigate illegal mining in the country, they should be bold to act law, place forest reserves and other bodies under the Ghana Armed Forces, and that will work. And I think that will serve as a first aid, because there are other issues that we need to tackle after doing that, unemployment issue and other issues. So selecting certain places and trying to, send military over there without legal back, and I don't think that is the proper approach.
So you believe that it should be for, and you're saying that you've said this before?
Yes, it should be. I've said this over and over again. I mean, 2017, I stated it that if we have political will, want to see the end of this kind of illegal mining activity that is destroying our environment, you should enact a law, place forest reserves under total control of the military. Then all this illegal mining activity going on in the forest reserve will cease, because you see, throughout the whole world, when you place certain, assets under the military, they protect it and they do it well. That is my view.
What's your take on what the security agencies have been used, or how they have been used in the fight against illegal mining so far under this particular government?
I see political interference, and I've stated it somewhere that others are arguing that they had Operation Vanguard and other operations that involve military and other security agencies. Personally, I don't support that operation. If you want military to take over, give the whole thing solely to the military. Research has shown that when you mingle the military, trying to organize other security agencies, that's what you call inter-agency security operations. Military will not perform as the way they should be. When you give them that kind of operation solely, they perform better. And so if you really want to fight this kind, the best thing for me, I think, is to place the forest reserves and the water bodies under the Ghana Armed Forces, then they do the best work for us.
In some of the areas, I mean, recently we saw in one of the areas where the military went there and the residents of the area had a scuffle, shooting and all of these things happening in these areas. How do we do that without really not having issues in terms of such scuffles and shootings and all of these things happening? Can it ever be peaceful in that sense?
Yes, it can. Because after doing that, what you need to do is to educate the community members. Because when the law is enacted and you go out telling them why the need for such law, they will understand. Because it is all about the country, the threat, the risk involved, and what is ahead of us that people are not even aware of. Most of them think of what they will get today without thinking of tomorrow and next generation. So it's up to the leaders, especially the community leaders, to educate the members the dangers that the country or the community members are going to face. It's all about education, but basically, I think that we need to enact the law, place forest reserves under the military command, and they will do a better job to protect the forest reserve and water bodies.
What about the Blue Water Guards? You're talking about the military, then it means that you are not excited about this initiative, the Blue Water Guards?
Well, if you ask me, I would say they haven't made any impact at all. I don't see the need for such green water guards. I think maybe it's a way of giving them job, but this is not going to help the matters. I think they should find a way of giving them job than giving them this kind of role that they are not able to play.
Wow. The question about state of emergency, and I'll be getting to Dennis also about it. The president says it takes a lot to declare state of emergency, and they haven't exhausted all the avenues to fight the menace. Do you agree that all the avenues have not been used yet? And so let's hold on to the state of emergency.
Well, I don't think that is the right answer for the president to give to the nation, because when they were in a position, they called for state of emergency. I will agree with some other, but I think political will is not there. If political will is there, I don't see the difficulty in dealing with this Galamsey menace. The political will should be there first, then we can do the rest.
If you say you don't see the political will.
Yes, the political will is not there. When you look at the approach, and all the approach, initial approach, because when you ask me my candid opinion, President Mahama has been president before, and it was during his time that we had some of these forest reserve being, mined by illegal mining. So he's aware of what was going on in the opposition, and he's aware now. He gets briefings almost every day. He gets briefings, so he knows what exactly is happening. But the point is that there is no political will. If you have political will, what do you do? If you know Galamsey is a national security threat, what do you do? Assuming Togo, Burkina Faso, or Cote d'Ivoire is attacking Ghana, what would the president do? We need to consider illegal mining, Galamsey, as a national security threat more than a conventional warfare. So this is my stake. If political will is there, dealing with this shouldn't be a problem at all. Shouldn't be a problem. Well, sometimes they may think that mining activities have played a significant role in driving the economic growth in Ghana. But this is not the time you should be thinking in this way. That thing is going to cost us a lot. It's going to destroy generation yet unborn. So we need to tackle it head on. We need to tackle it. Ask yourself, assuming maybe tomorrow Cote d'Ivoire is attacking us, do you think President Mahama will sit down and say it's not time for me to declare a state of emergency? And what is more dangerous than what we are facing today? Illegal mining. Galamsey is more dangerous than conventional warfare. During COVID, what happened? We asked the military to come out to make sure people, the community members, even in Accra, everybody was obeying what law. Those who were asked to stay home, they were staying home. They didn't come out because military were all over. So what is it so difficult that we cannot do this? If political will is there, and you view this illegal mining as a national security threat, I don't see why you should be, dancing around this issue.
Great. Thank you very much for your time. We are Paul Boateng, a security analyst. He says that there's no political will yet. He wants to see more from the president because he has been in office before and knows about the situation, and so he should be doing much more about it. Paul Boateng, thank you very much for your time. We're getting back to Dennis here in the studio. You're watching Good Afternoon Ghana with me, Desmond Okreko-Danso, sitting in for Annie Efua Ampofo. Dennis, so sorry, you were making a point before we had to go to Mr. Boateng there. So you were giving us the genesis of Galamsey.
So Akufo-Addo came to office. And then, so the time Akufo-Addo entered office, Galamsey was a burning issue like it is today, like it is now. Yeah. In 3 months, he had to take some decisive action on it. The first thing he did was he called CSOs and other stakeholders, including the media. And then the outcome was that let's place a ban on it so we can put in place certain measures. So a ban was placed on it. I think the initial ban was 6 months. And after the 6 months, it was extended. In fact, that ban ran for 20 months. It was lifted on 17 December 2018. By the time the ban was being lifted, our water bodies were cleaning up. In fact, some of them, you could see the stones beneath them, and you could hear the sound. I think the video, 2018.
2018?
Yes. Yes, by the time it was being lifted. In fact, it was as a result of the water bodies cleaning up that a lot of stakeholders started calling on the president that we think it's time for you to lift it. Within that period, the president put in place several policies, several mechanisms, including the river guard that the NDC, whenever you ask them what they have done, they will tell you river guard. It was there long time ago. Long time ago. So there were a lot of restructuring that the president put in place.
Okay.
In spite of all those restructuring and regulations that were put in place together with CSOs and other stakeholders, we still had these criminals still going into the forest reserves and the river bodies and still perpetrating this crime. The understanding or the belief was that we'll get back to the drawing board, work together again and see if we can, because at least President Akufo-Addo had shown proof of concept that our river bodies, as we see it now, could actually clean up if we do certain things.
Okay.
But that didn't happen. The opposition then, the now president and his party, went ballistic. That was the time, instead of cooperating with the government for us to try and see if we can do other things different from what we had done, which had given us results, they said, no, it is a government problem. Fix it
the government
yourself.
should deal with it.
The president said it. Actually, he said it with his mouth. That is a government mandate. Do it. We have nothing to do with it. Their communications officer, Sami Jemfi, sat on Metro, Good Morning Ghana, and said that, how can the angels sit with devils? That the MPP were the devils, they were the Galamsey, they were the one doing the Galamsey. They would never sit down with them. It is their problem. They should fix it. The Sam George said same. In fact, When we're going into the 2020 elections, the NDC went into the mining areas to promise the Galamseyers that when they vote for John Mahama, they will allow them to mine. The videos are there.
Yeah.
The president himself went into the mining area and told them that, forget Akufo-Addo. When I win, all your children and brothers and sisters who have been arrested, presented in court, convicted, and jailed, I would release all of them on an amnesty. But then when you do this, all you are doing is that you are enabling the criminality.
Okay.
That is why I insist that John Mahama, His Excellency, is the #1 enabler of Galamsey in this country. It starts from his first term. It doesn't start from now. His posture has been one of inconsistency. So somewhere in 2021, after we had finished 2020 elections, now the same person who had gone to the pits to promise them that he would let them mine is now telling Akufo-Addo that stop chasing the Galamseyers with soldiers. In fact, he said it one morning on TV that it's not wise to be chasing Galamseyers with soldiers and burning excavators and burning equipment. He said it. Then he started turning everything on Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo and his government are the ones doing mining.
Okay.
He said that, in fact, Felix said that if MPP is voted out, Galamsey will end. You talk about what Sami Jemfi also said that it will end. Akufo-Addo then came to ask Mahama, Mr. JM, where do you stand on this Galamsey thing? Why? Because in 2013, you were burning excavators. You had a task force fighting Galamsey. In 2020, you told the Galamseyers that when you come, you let them mine. Now in 2022, going in 2024, you said that stop chasing the Galamseyers with soldiers. And then going to 2024, you are now accusing me of being a Galamseyer. Now you are saying that you stop Galamsey using AI. You stop Galamsey by banning small-scale mining in your first 120 days. So you said so many things. Where do you stand? He never responded to that question. So as at the time John Mahama came to office, no Ghanaian knew his exact position on Galamsey. So today, if he's doing whatever he wants and he's nonchalant about it, you can't complain.
You're talking about the NDC and everything, and of course telling us that President Akufo-Addo and the NPP did a lot. Did it work?
No, it didn't. That's why we lost. For me, I don't think Akufo-Addo matters in the current conversation. Because Akufo-Addo is no longer president. He has lost. He's gone. Whatever happened, it happened. Forget about him. Akufo-Addo is no longer going on the ballot to come and run for president. It doesn't matter. What matters right now is that the people of this country are so confronted with a Galamsey menace, which you told them that if Akufo-Addo is no longer president, it will end. And it's still festering. They want solutions to it. Now, they come and ask you at the Meet the Press that what are you doing about it? And guess what the president does? The president actually confirms to the entire country that actually the Republic of Ghana is exporting proceeds of crime. Because Galamsey is crime. The president actually says that $4 billion out of the $6 billion of gold that has been exported is from that area. What are you doing? What you are telling the Galamseyers is that if you manage to do Galamsey and get gold without being caught, and you bring it, I will buy. Because the president actually said it to my utmost shock and surprise of the whole population. He said that whether the gold is coming from illegal or legal, it is our environment that they are destroying. And so instead of the money going to the private pocket, if it comes to the state, it is better. Do you know what that means? If you are my son and you're an armed robber, make sure you are not caught. If you manage to get home with the robbery money, I will spend it. How can a president of the Republic of Ghana, who is committed to ending Galamsey, ever make such an enabling comment to the Galamseyers? We are in trouble, bro. I'm telling you that this country is in big trouble because this Galamsey thing you are seeing is not going to end. It is not going to end because the president's entire economic plan is hinged on gold. And
so that you're getting to gold board.
And if he doesn't, you see, no, forget gold board. If he is telling you that out of the 6 billion is exported, 4 billion is coming from gold, you know what that means? It means that if he blocks that side, he's not going to get enough gold to pursue whatever agenda he is looking for. The man is simply not willing to protect our environment.
The blue water guards, as we mentioned earlier, they were inaugurated earlier in the year. The question now has been about the state of emergency I'll take your thoughts on that. But the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, together with the Ghana Army and the Forestry Commission, carried out a major swoop in the Achumamponia Forest Reserve, dismantling illegal mining sites and seizing equipment belonging to Galamsey operators, and was conducted in Nkawie Forest District in the Offin Shelter Belt. That was on Wednesday, and there are lots of things that were found out during this particular operation. That there were excavator trucks in the community, mining without license. All of these things are destroying our environments, and so the Secretariat seized 2 Toyota Hilux pickups, 1 Nissan pickup, and in addition set ablaze 5 Shamfang machines, 4 dams, old excavator engines, 7 water pumping machines, and other personal belongings abandoned at the site. If you're looking at this, it's not part of the fight and approach that the president is talking about.
Which government has ever come to lead this country without doing this?
I think this is just...
From Mahama himself when he was president, it was done. It is for Galamsey. Akufo-Addo did it.
So what is the solution?
Stop buying the gold from the people, and then an opposition party in the country shouldn't support and side with the Galamsey as it will end. I'm telling you, see, if Mahama and the NDC, His Excellency and the NDC, had not taken the posture they took when the Akufo-Addo was president and they cooperated with him, Galamsey would have ended. See, the Galamseyers hid behind the NDC and did whatever they had to do, because after all, you promised them amnesty. So even if I go to jail for some 9-11 months after making money, when these guys come, I'll go home. I'm telling you, it is the overpolitics. When you go to the mining communities, you know what is happening. You can't find any MPP person talking about I'm going to mine. It is NDC. Let's be real. There are some communities where there's been exchange of handing over notes, they call it. Yes, of the Galamsey sites.
Really?
Yes. What we know in this country, when Mustafa Bandi, the Deputy Director of Operations at the presidency, confessed on TV that some mining site that they've gone to take over, it is because some MPP people were the ones mining there and they want their boys to go and mine.
You're saying the NDC is complicit in this?
It's not that I'm saying. The Upper Denture East Constituency Chairman is seen on video by reporters almost strangling military men and asking them to leave their Galamsey site. Hasn't the Attorney General written and referred the Vice Chairman of the NDC and the National Organizer of the NDC to security agencies for suspicion of being involved in Galamsey? The Akrofom Constituency Chairman, in fact, the Awin Traditional Council have written a petition to the president telling him that their MP, their NDC MP, is involved in Galamsey. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Now the president himself ultimately comes on air and comes to tell the entire country, confirms to the entire country that it doesn't matter where the gold is coming from. For now, it is our gold. It is our environment they are destroying. Whether legal or illegal, we'll take it. What again do you want to know?
Some say that it's just 9 months, so let's give them time.
But so, well, it's a choice the Ghanaian people have to make. If you think that you have to give the person the full 4 months to destroy the water completely before he sits up, that's your choice. But we will speak up.
So now that you're on the Bawumia campaign, and Bawumia is campaigning to be elected as flag bearer for the party, and then getting into the 2028 election, is this not going to be a huge thing for you in terms of, now you're saying that the NDC is not fighting this, so it means that it will be one of the things that you may talk about. What will be that Dr. Bawumia will do differently?
Well, I mean, Dr. Bawumia already outlined several things, even during the 2024 election.
Yeah.
And his plan and strategies were based on the experience we've had, aggregating or starting from 2010, and even looking at the fact that, so we placed the ban in 2017 April. By 2018, our water bodies were completely clean. It means that if we don't disturb our water bodies with the wrong mining approach, our water bodies will be fine. You understand what I'm saying? The only reason why we have people muddying in the water, there are 2 things. One, people are just scavenging. They don't know where the gold actually is. They know that, this
so they go to this place, do something, and then move to other places too.
That is one. Dr. Bawumia says government, under his government, would provide the data to the locals. So he's going to move the licensing for miners to the district level and make sure that you don't have to come to Minerals Commission, come and do some connection, go through some long procedures, because the people, they will mine anyway if you don't guide them. So the first approach is take the whole licensing regime to the local level, to the district assembly level. Make the data available. So you walk to the district assembly, you go to a data room, you know that in this your community, this is where there's good, this is where there's good, this is where there's good. That's a step 1. So you don't go just digging everywhere. Step 2, he's going to set up the Minerals Development Bank. What the Minerals Development Bank is going to do is that, listen, the Chinese who are coming into this country with Cham funds and all of that, they come because our locals who have identified the place to mine, they don't have money. So the people who can bring the capital and the equipment are the Chinese. So when you set up the Mineral Development Bank, the bank can now provide funding to this person that has identified that this land that there is gold is in our land. So we own it, or I can have it from the owners.
Is that not what the NDC is doing to register the excavators?
No, that's excavator. That's excavator. It's a full value chain I'm giving you. It's a full value chain. Identify the data points, know where gold is, so we don't scavenge. That's a step 1. Step 2, provide them ease of licensing, localize it, so that not only the rich can have licenses.
Okay.
Because those who are doing the Galamsey in the pit, they're not so rich, who cannot afford the responsible equipment, the mercury equipment.
So they can just use anything that they can find.
Exactly. Step 2, set up the bank. So that when they identify that this is where land is, and this land, I know who it belongs to, and I can have access to it, they don't go digging with all manner of tools. They now have access to funding, which can help them to secure the appropriate equipment. Nana Akufo-Addo supplied some equipment. There's a mercury machine that they can use to mine without muddying any place. So they can buy these machines and mine responsibly. When they mine, then you can now have an institution like Gold Board, which the NDC has now, to buy this gold and then use it to back our economy as the party is planning to do. Okay. But for now, you haven't given them the mode, the ways, the strategies, the capacity to be able to do this. But you have created the market for them. So they are doing and scavenging and they bring it and you are buying. I was expecting that with the inception of Gold Board and the law saying that you cannot sell your gold to anybody other than Gold Board, if you are holding illegal gold, it should be more expensive for you to sell.
Okay.
Because you don't have anybody to sell
to.
It
deters people.
So it deters people. But no, you have rather created the easy avenue now for them. The only thing you've done to them is that you've cut the price. And you are buying it at 8,000 instead of 12,000. And guess what? They are protesting publicly. They are telling that we are Galamseyers and you are buying the thing from us at 8,000 instead of 12,000. We'll vote against you. And the president says we beg. In fact, Gold Board, on the back of this protest, came to increase it and give them a bonus of 800 and something cedis to encourage them to sell because they started holding on to the gold that they won't sell. You are enabling Galamsey. The president and the government are in plain sight enabling Galamsey. We should stop beating about the bush. Then we wake up one morning on Monday and they are sharing videos and telling us that, oh, we are in the forest, 9 months. They've gone to Benny and 9 months have gone to...
Yeah.
But as of 7 January 2017 when they came to power, military men and policemen already in the
They've
forest.
been doing that already.
They were burning excavators. So the guys are playing with our minds. Whilst they are doing all these things, today they are buying gold from them.
Do you agree with the military base proposal that has come in?
The state of emergency?
No, well, not the state of emergency, but the plan to build military bases in these places that are very rife with Galamsey.
Well, I think that a crime is a crime. And if law enforcement, which includes military and police, can be used, it is one of it.
Okay.
It is just one. I have always said that the Galamsey thing is a social orientation thing. Whilst we do all this law enforcement, we must invest into social reorientation. Because you see, I don't understand why you think that a community of 1,000 people in a village saw excavators being driven to their village into a forest, mine, and you think you can always go with military to go and store. How many villages can you visit in a day? Some of the places the 9 months went to Ben yesterday, I can tell you they are there today. Because you went there yesterday, you think you are done, you are gone, they are back.
You're back.
So when the community itself is properly oriented, and they believe that what is going on is against their own self, you know, it's afflicting themselves badly, they can stop it. In few communities where the chiefs have said no mining in my area, there's no mining. In the communities where chiefs have said no mining, in communities where assembly members have said no mining, there's no mining.
One story we did, I think it was Juma. There's a place called Juma.
They said no mining.
Yeah.
There will be no mining. So we need the communities. Because you know what the miners are doing now? They have their staff, their workers. 2 of them, their job is to sit in the community on the main stretch. So before the military people...
Military gets there, they say the best thing that...
Yeah, somebody's job, he's paid every day. So by the time you drive through the village, that's why you barely hear the miners arrested. As for the excavator, they cannot carry you to them and run. Okay, but how many times have you seen the miners arrested? We arrested close to 1,000, miners.
Were they prosecuted?
Yes. 74 of them were jailed at the time we were leaving office. They are the ones the president now said he was going to give them amnesty. But the truth of the matter is that it is not sustainable.
Okay.
Without all these other integrated approach Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia speaks of, which includes the social reorientation. Otherwise, we are moving in circles. You can only go and bend the place and bend it once or twice. You can't do much about it. The last time we did some work on illegal mining, I think I myself was at the forefront of it. We identified 523 communities with illegal mining. 523 communities with illegal mining. So if you say that you are going to position soldiers at 44, in 44 forests, you've done nothing. See, Kwenyako.
Yeah, and I was coming to
Agona
that.
East. Have you seen their water?
Yeah.
They don't have mining there.
When the last
none of the districts in that area have mining. They haven't even seen gold before, but you see the impact. Do you know what's happening? The mining is going on in the eastern region.
In other places.
And that is the effect.
And now the headworks have been shut down.
So we need to have a better way of dealing with it. I think that people are on the president now for the state of emergency and all those things because of his own words. Because of his own words. But I, for one, I have never been a keen believer of this whole, how do you call it? This whole state of emergency.
State of emergency. You don't agree to that?
No, I haven't been a keen believer. I think that it's the president's own party and their own inclination that is making people really say that you have to do what you say you do. For example,
because they said that when the NPP was in power, that the president can.
Yes. Four cabinet ministers.
Okay.
Including the lands and natural resources minister. So the understanding of the Ghanaian people is that this thing that you are saying, because you propose it as a solution. That's why one of the reasons why they voted against the MPP. So if you are in office and you are not doing it, they feel betrayed. Whether it will work or not, you put it across as one of your solutions. And so do it. For example, you say 8 months is not long and it's short, right? But you said in your social contract, in your manifesto, that in 120 days, you will place a ban on all forms of small-scale mining. You said it in 120 days. We are in 8 months. At least do that one. At least. That's one you say you will do in 120 months. If you have done it, we will get hope that at least you are committed to the cause. But even the one you yourself said you will do in 120 days, which is 4 months, you haven't done it. So there is no hope.
Dennis says there's no hope. Dennis, thank you very much for coming to Dennis Miracles Mabuaje is Director of Communications for the Bawumia campaign team. We touched on the tour by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of the NPP presidential, that is the election, and the issue about illegal mining. Many thanks for joining us here on the show. I am Desmond Okrekudanso, sat in for Annie Ifwa Ampofu. Do enjoy the rest of our programs, and kudos to the production team. Have a great weekend. Monday is a holiday. Yeah, Monday is a holiday. But definitely we'll be here to serve you. That's many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Some loves are born in the blink of an eye.
I've been madly in love with her since the first time I saw her. Then let's get married today.
I'll be the happiest woman in the world by your side.